Historical figures in education. John Dewey. Today's educational system and landscape are vastly different from previous centuries, even recent decades. Changes in society and advancements in technology have played a major role in these differences. However, without the influences of educators like John Dewey, we may not have achieved the progress that we have made. Known as the father of progressive education, John Dewey is one of education's most influential figures. With more than 700 articles spanning over 140 journals and over 40 books, he is also one of the most published educators of our time. While Dr. Dewey is a highly regarded figure in both the fields of philosophy and psychology, it is his work and contributions in educational and social reform that have had the greatest impact for educators. Over the course of his life, John Dewey would travel around the world, lecturing on his beliefs and ideologies that learning is best done by doing. Before his death in 1952, John Dewey would receive numerous honors that included an honorary doctorate degree in literature from Yale University, as well as worldwide celebrations at universities and academic associations in honor of his 90th birthday. It is because of these accomplishments and more, that John Dewey is a key influence in education. According to John Dewey, education is not preparation for life, education is life itself. This is one of his most famous quotes and one that he demonstrated throughout his own life. Dewey began his life's educational journey at the University of Vermont. After graduation, he would briefly teach in both the primary and secondary education systems, before earning his Ph.D. from Johns Hopkins University School of Arts and Science. He also served as a faculty professor at the University of Michigan. Then in 1894, Dewey joined the newly established University of Chicago. It was here that he would begin to push and change the boundaries of traditional education. During his time at the University of Chicago, Dewey would write his first and most important publication on education and its role and responsibility within society, entitled The School and Society. This collection of 3 lectures provided the context and framework for what we know as progressive education. With these lectures, Dewey provided a framework for creating a more integrated and holistic approach to education. This framework was based on 3 guiding principles: the relationship between education and social progress, the relationship between education and a child's life experiences, and the wastefulness in education resulting from fragmented organizations and structures. Dewey was passionate and determined in his belief that education based solely on learning a skill set would result in individuals that were not equipped to address change in their community, something he felt was a primary responsibility of education. John Dewey would continue to publish educational lectures and literature. Some of his other prominent works included The Child and the Curriculum and The Experience and Education. The common principle of these works, and a primary attribute of education today, is the idea that learning is a social and interactive process. Problem-based learning, one of the most widely used models of education, is deeply rooted in the philosophies of John Dewey. Other 21st century learning models, such as student-centered, also incorporate Dewey's belief that students learn best when they are both mentally and physically engaged. Dewey's philosophies would also be applied to training and professional development of educators themselves. He proposed that teaching was not simply a profession but a social service, and that teachers must be passionate about children in their community to truly be educators. These constructs and ideas continue to serve as the foundation for today's education system. Like other facets of society, education continues to evolve. Thanks to educators like John Dewey, students and teachers will be challenged to become innovators, not afraid to push the boundaries. Challenged to become reformers, not afraid to create change. And challenged to be pursuers of education, or, as Dewey might think, pursuers of life. Thank you.
created using Powtoon.